Welcome to the eRacing Association, where you have the chance to win $5,000 in one of the best tournaments in all of sim racing. Green flag in the air.
Are you ready to reach the next level of sim racing? The eRacing Association's epic Omega Cup Series lets you win big. Racing with ERA lets you compete for huge cash prizes, get exclusive merch, exclusive sim hardware pricing, and potentially turn your virtual dreams into reality. Feel the rush as you race door-to-door against sim racers just like yourself, all from the comfort of your own home.
Straight away, they're an idiot. Oh, they're wrecking! They're wrecking!
Join now to get your membership and experience all of the excitement that the eRacing Association has to offer at www.eragaming.gg.
Celebration, he hangs on!
Son, this is a Navy base, not a playground.
Sir, have a look.
So you think you got what it takes to fly with the Navy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you one shot. Bring him in.
Hey, can I get another cocktail?
Gentlemen, you are here because NASCAR wants you to have a street race on this base.
Hey, this is pretty sick, huh?
Oh, you think this is sick? If you want to race here, you got to show honor, courage, and commitment. You boys think you know speed? You haven't felt real speed. They're gonna flip you. They're gonna twist you. And just when you think you've reached your limit, they're gonna punch a hole in the sky and drag you with them.
Hey, Clyde, you gonna do stuff with that pilot shit? Can't be any worse than you're driving. Sick bird, Peaches.
Speaking of sick,
The Bernard Carpenter's not gonna like that. Hey, boys, I feel the need. I feel the need. Seriously, guys. Need for speed. Speed. Does this thing go any faster? Oh, shit. Hell yeah, boys.
Not bad up there, gentlemen. But let's see how you handle this next mission. This is NASCAR Street Course, and that is the Navy Security Force. You make it to the finish line without getting caught, you have my respect.
look at this turn right
We need
here.
to split up.
Let's just steal one of these f***ing helicopters over here.
Dude, we're so done.
We're screwed.
Thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Why did we not bring SDG? Guys, I got an idea.
Lights on. You think we can outrun them?
It ain't the car, it's the driver.
Man, this course is sick. Boys, we're almost to the finish line.
We lost him. Got him.
Gentlemen, we set the standard, and you matched it. And I am pleased to say that you belong here with us on this sacred ground.
Let's get to work on bringing NASCAR to the Navy.
This is what this sport's all about right here. Big moments like this.
That was a dangerous shot.
The gate opens, all bets are off, and you better react.
Like this is a picture-perfect driving.
This is what makes the difference.
Well, there you have it. This crowd just got to witness greatness.
And he can hear you right now. Let's go!
Oh my God!
I'm just in awe at how good the guys are riding. We are being treated to the best bull riding you want to watch right here.
Hey guys, I'm Indy Next champion Dennis Hauger, and you're watching Drafting the Circuits.
Yeah, that's nice. The stuff he wrote about Mum gets me, so yeah.
I mean, you look at this Trackhouse team in 2026.
Like, sky is the limit, right?
It is. 3 drivers that can actually compete for a championship.
Damn right. Hell of a drive, man.
I'll read this ahead of time. Dear Ross,
you've brought nothing but honor to the #1 car and joined a line of greats who've driven it.
you delivered the first win in Trackhouse history.
And the first driver to win the Coke 600 from the rear in a backup car. And of course, the first to pull off that wall ride at Martinsville. With all the firsts who brought this company,
There's no better number to stay on the side of your car next year than the #1
now let's go make another first and bring home that first
championship.
Let's go #1, always and forever.
Very cool. Well, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and we're ready to go take advantage of it.
Dear Connor, the 88 has always carried a little extra meaning for me.
It's not just a number, it's a legacy.
Defined by guys like Darrell Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and most recently, SVG. I had a lot of great years myself driving that number.
You ignited a new chapter with the 88, one written in your own style. From breaking records to delivering JRM's 100th win as an organization, I always knew you had the talent and heart.
And now, I couldn't be more proud to say that you will carry the 88 forward into the Cup Series with Trackhouse Racing.
The story of the 88 is far from finished, and now it's your turn to write the next chapter.
And we're all here for it. Your friend, Dylan Hart Jr.
That's pretty cool. Man, yeah, it's an honor to have a guy like him endorsing me, and I got big shoes to fill for sure, but there's no other number I'd want to be besides 88.
Shane, do you want to read that out loud?
Hi mate. Here you're running 97 NASCAR Cup Series next year. It means so much to our family. Right from the beginning, both of us ran 97 in motocross. We both ran it in Speedway. Mum would have been absolutely proud. Over the years, 97 was a legacy in New Zealand and Australia in all forms of motorsport. So, So proud you're running it in USA. And also, even when you won national titles, where you're obliged to run number one, you still carried on 97. So proud, mate.
Yeah, that's nice. The stuff he wrote about Mum gets me, so yeah. Blown away by it. Be able to represent my number in NASCAR, and hopefully people know me as 97 now.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Drafting the Circus program brought to you by Sinista1 Productions. My name is Frank.
Good start.
Dying over here. I told you I'm losing my voice. My name is Frank Sandarowski. I'll be your host for the next hour, if I can make it. Joining me, Jessica Chezrony. Jess, how the heck are you?
I'm better than you, evidently.
Yeah. So
we're doing great.
Yeah. Richard's off on assignment and Lee is off on assignment. So it's just you and I tonight. So this part of the year where everyone is done except Formula One. We only have a few shows left. We like to do kind of season in review stuff. And since you and I are the big IndyCar fans of the bunch, we're going to do IndyCar in review tonight. That's going to be the bulk of our show. But first off, let's talk about this clip we had at the beginning of the show with Trackhouse Racing, and they've got their numbers for their 3 full-time guys next year. Ross Chastain keeping the 1. The 88 had been split between SVG and Connor Zilisch. The SVG, the 88 will now be solely on Connor Zilisch's car, and Van Gisbergen will be running the number 97, which is a number that his family has run forever. So he's really pleased he was able to get that number, and really touched at some of the comments in the letter from his dad. And I thought it was a nice segment there, show a little raw emotion, but then my friend, who's a cynical bastard, self-described cynical bastard, that is. You know him, you love him, Richard Uden, not here to defend himself. So we'll just have our way at him. He says, all that's just fake, that emotion just fake. This guy's from New Zealand, and New Zealanders don't care about anything, and that's all done for clickbait and views. I'm like, okay, All right.
I mean, even if it is, like, so what? I mean,
even if it is, yeah, but
commercials are scripted, all of this, promotional stuff. Like,
sure.
of course
But
they're milking it.
But you see the genuine reaction from Shane, where his dad put something in the letter about your mother would be proud, or your mother would have liked to see this. Shane's mother passed away just about a year ago, and my mother passed away not too long ago, maybe 3 years ago. And I know that when somebody says something to me, if I do something or if my daughter does something, they say, your mom would have been proud, or I wish your mom could have seen this. I have that same reaction.
Absolutely. Let me tell you what, my dad's been gone almost 20 years, and that doesn't go away.
That doesn't go away. Yeah. I mean, so say what you want, but those are the new numbers for Trackhouse. And I mean, Zilich obviously has proven that he can win about anywhere. We'll see how he does once he steps up to the Cup level. Chastain's been there a couple of years. He's a known quantity. And Van Gisbergen, we know he can get around the road course. Just got to get that oval monkey off his back. But I have a feeling that once he wins an oval, more oval wins will come through. So
yeah, and he did seem to make some improvement toward the end of the season.
And
started to figure it out. So that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. Like, I think it was a great video. I think it was a cool promo. I think I agree that emotion around parts of that letter was real, obviously. But I also sort of agree with Richard in that, like, do these guys really care what their car number is? I don't know. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
You have a favorite car number?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No
one else is here.
I mean, I would think, like, if I ran, I would probably try to run like the 56, which was my dad's number in football in high school. Like, I don't know. That's just a whatever.
You're not going to believe this.
What's that?
My uncle, who has a Formula V team.
Yeah.
He's run the number 56 his entire career.
That's cool.
It's his favorite number. And his other team's car, they've got 56, 57, 58 for him. He's always in 56.
That's cool.
It has been forever. Now, my favorite race car number is 27.
Okay.
No particular reason, but it just seemed that there have been several of drivers that I pay attention to, drivers that I really like, have run the 27 at one point or another. Mario ran the 27 for a time. Jimmy Spencer, and I was a big Jimmy Spencer fan in NASCAR. He ran the 27. Alan Jones in Formula One. Giles Villeneuve in Formula One. There's been a lot of guys that I just, the 27. Rossi ran the 27 for a while.
Yep.
Marco ran the 27 for a while. So I don't know. I always just liked the number 27.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that, this day and age that almost all the series have, either the team or the driver keeps the numbers. If you remember back in kart, which was probably before your time, Jessica, they would renumber the cars every year.
Yes.
Based on how they finished in the championship, but it was weird.
Yeah.
So the top 10 would be 1 through 10, right? And then, or the top 12, right? 13 they didn't use. 14 was reserved for AJ Foyt, right?
Okay.
So anybody else, they can just pick a random number that's not being used. Now, say you finish 5th in the championship, right? But you don't necessarily like the number 5.
Yeah.
You also have the option of throwing the 5 back in the pool and picking a number you did like. Like Greg Moore ran the 99. So it was confusing though, because your driver would have a different number every year.
Yeah.
Not as confusing as early Formula One in the 70s, where they gave the car numbers based on the timing of the entries received, and your driver would have a different number every race.
No, that's
exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I like the idea of marketing somebody with the number. You know what I mean? You've got the number on the merchandise. You see a number 3. What do you immediately think of? Dale Earnhardt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think it's interesting too, though, because there's been so much discussion recently. I think specifically about IndyCar in terms of like the liveries changing and how it's hard to, if you can't recognize your favorite driver, if they're not driving the same color car every weekend, like it's hard to emotionally connect or whatever. Like maybe the number is the thing now, right? Like the liveries are going to change. That's
business.
The name of the game. That's business. That's sponsorship.
And
those
NASCAR,
are going to change.
NASCAR is just as bad as IndyCar with the rotating livery, maybe worse even.
Yeah.
Because
so like
IndyCar's got a few guys that keep the same livery. Like the Carpenter cars were consistent all year long.
Yeah.
And so we're like the Verizon car was Verizon car all year long. So, but the other two Penske cars maybe rotating around. So
maybe the number is the thing, right? Like maybe we're moving toward that to where you identify, your guy by his number and not necessarily by what his car looks like. I don't know.
Yeah. There used to be a time.
Yeah.
Like when I used to start watching Formula One back in the 70s, you identified the driver by his helmet. But their heads stuck out so much farther from the car then, and you could see the helmet. So now it's, if you get a glimpse of a helmet, you're kind of lucky. So anyway, we're way off topic, but you know what? We didn't have a topic.
Right.
Here's a topic.
Brazilian it's the Frank and Jess show. We can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, well, we got to talk about the Brazilian Grand Prix, which was held in Brazil this year, oddly enough. Yeah, shocking. So Lando Norris won the pole, won the sprint, and won the race. Perfect weekend. Stretches his championship lead. Max Verstappen and his teammate Yuki Tsunoda both struggled with the cars, both knocked out in Q1. So they both started from the back. Now, Max being Max,
didn't finish there.
Finished third. But it was not enough for him to hold on to his championship hopes. So Max is officially eliminated from the championship. So it's now just between the McLaren teammates. And, Oscar has just been kind of faded into the background the last 5-6 weeks. I can't even, I want to say it's been a good, at least 5 races since he's even been on the podium. Yeah. And here's a guy who we pegged as a champion in mid-season.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but
what, I'm seeing a lot of like hate on the internet about like, I don't want to see a Lando Norris champ. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's people's deal? Just because like he's not running away with this shit the way that they're used to Max Verstappen doing? Like, why do people feel like this is not like a legitimate championship?
I wish I could tell you.
I don't know. I just don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe they're just, where are you hearing this from?
Just
certainly Twitter. Not. It's not coming out of England because they all love him there.
Well, sure.
And so it's. Where's Oscar
just
from?
Twitter.
He's
Oscar.
Is he New Zealand or Australia or something? I feel like I should know these things.
I'll pull a Richard Uden and hop on Google it
really quick. I mean, I know where it's from. I just can't come up with it in my head, but certainly
Australia.
I can't. Yeah, I thought it was Australia or New Zealand, something like that. So probably the people down under are pissed because Lando has, after being Oscar's shadow, the first 2/3 of the season, he's eclipsed him. So, and I don't know if there's some thought that McLaren is doing anything funky to favor Norris, because I don't believe they are. I really think they're legit when they say that we let our drivers race one another and give equal equipment. So
yeah,
I
don't know.
So Max is out. Vegas is next. Lando can mathematically clinch in Vegas if Oscar has a bad day, and then it can be over with. But we haven't seen a Formula One championship go down to the last race in a little while.
Right.
Not since Max's first championship, where him and Lewis battled to the last race. So that was 4 or 5 seasons ago. So
yeah.
And we've seen it wrapped up early. So it'd be nice to see a championship go down to the wire.
That'd be cool.
And to see maybe have those two fight it out.
Is Vegas going to be in the middle of the damn night again?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
That's very weird.
It's funny how, as goofy as a track it is, it's amazing what a entertaining race it produces.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And a spectacle too, you know, in terms
and a
of like
spectacle. Yep. So
the people that attend.
So what are your thoughts on Vegas? What do you think? Who do you like?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I keep picking George Russell and he's not doing anything for me. Let's hey, how'd that Kinney dude did really well. Yeah, he got a podium this weekend. Yeah.
Antonelli?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's see him party it up in Vegas and win.
Heck yeah. I think Max is gonna win. Just because he's eliminated and he's probably not happy about that.
I can see
that'll keep Lando or Oscar from winning, and the championship will certainly go on down to the last race of the season. So, like I said, only 2 races to go. I mean, this is do or die for those 2 McLaren guys.
Yep.
All right. So, I don't think there's anything else going on in the racing world before we get into talking about specifically IndyCar, because there is some recent IndyCar news, but I think NASCAR has been pretty quiet. No movement on the lawsuit thing since last week.
I haven't seen anything. No.
And NHRA had the weekend off. They're going to go to their finals, I believe, in 2 weeks. So let's talk about IndyCar 2025, right? 2025 season. A lot of times when we do these seasons in review, one of the things I like to discuss is the pivotal point in the season that changed the complexion of the championship. But we didn't have that this year.
We really didn't.
The championship complexion didn't change. I mean, Palou won the season opener and just kept winning from there. Never lost the lead. He only had 2 finishes outside of the top 10.
Isn't that crazy? And one of them was Detroit, where I mean, through no fault of his own.
Yeah, Detroit. He was, I think, 25th in Detroit.
Yeah.
And there's another race he finished 12th.
I want to say it was Toronto.
I think it was Toronto.
Yeah, street circuits, man. Yeah, I mean, 8 wins, 13 podiums. Like, yeah, it really didn't change. For me, like you can't really call it like a pivotal moment, right? But I think against the backdrop, right, of like Palou was probably going to run away with the season anyway. But I think that the Team Penske struggles, like really sort of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is after they had the push to pass scandal last year in 2024, which kind of tarnished their relationship. This whole thing in Indianapolis with the attenuator being smoothed out.
Yeah.
And then even some evidence that maybe they were doing that in 2024.
Yeah.
It really put Penske out of favor. But at the end of the day, you know, Penske fired 3 of his top guys.
Right. Yeah.
And it just took him forever to recover from that. And
yeah.
You know,
well, and I mean, the trouble started before that. Like, if you remember back to Thermal, all 3 of the Penskes failed to advance out of Q1. Like, I think that was kind of the first signal that, like, oh shoot, like all is not well in the house of Penske. But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, was Palou probably going to run away with the championship anyway? Sure. But like, you got to think that if Penske had been in typical Penske form, like maybe there could have been a challenge there that just never came, because their season just was unraveled.
Didn't get going until the season was almost over.
Absolutely. Yeah. Didn't have a win until Portland. And, you know, then Newgarden did make it 2 on the season with the victory at Nashville. But, you know, even then, right toward the end there, I feel like the contract drama with Power that ultimately, you know, led to him turning down an extension and heading over to Andretti. It's just like, if you really want to put a period on a shitty season, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about Will Power a little. I have a special segment just for you and I.
Oh, how exciting.
So we'll talk about Will Power during that one. So, What would you say was the biggest disappointment of the season, other than Connor Daly not getting a ride for 2026?
I mean, listen.
But we'll talk about Connor Daly in that special segment I told you about.
Oh, fantastic. I look forward to this. You know, I love surprises. Honestly, for me personally, well, I know we don't want to talk about Connor Daly yet because you got something up your sleeve, but for me personally, like the biggest disappointment was during the Indy 500 when like Connor started dropping like a stone, and then Hunter Ray with Cusick was, you know, in the lead, and it really looked like all of a sudden like he was on the right strategy, and then it was within like 10 laps that Hunter Ray's race fell apart and Connor's race fell apart, and I was just like, I was on cloud 9, and then I just like sat down in my seat. I was like, well,
then you're like, oh, it's flipping below again.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk about taking the wind out of your sails. That was a bummer. And not to stay on the 500, but really, if I think about over the course of the season, like the biggest letdown, McLaughlin crashing on the parade lap at the 500.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what could he have done? You know,
not crash.
Right.
He's not the first guy to do that either. So I remember Roberto Guerrero, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Crashed. He was crashed on the pace lap in '94. Yeah. So
I just cannot even. I can't even imagine. And then just like watching the replays of Scotty, just like, you know, like getting it together and standing up and picking up his helmet and then just being like, oh shit, like what did I just do? And then going down on the ground again. It was just, it's a heartbreaking.
Oh, it's funny because like, you know, McLaughlin was one of my picks to, you know, challenge for the championship this year. And he just, you know, again, like I said, Team Penske had struggles all year long.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
but he was the only one that ended up, you know, not coming out of the season with a win. Yeah, it's just what a weird year.
Yeah, for me, one of the biggest disappointments was Jacob Abel.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because I like Jacob. Jacob's a Kentucky guy. You know, his home is 2 hours from mine. You know, so I root for the guy, and he did well. He did well in lights, and he just appeared to be lost every single race. I mean, even. You know, you could look at a guy like Stingray, who looked to be well in over his head during his rookie season, and Abel was worse.
Yeah. And it wasn't just by a little bit. Like you would watch the lap times and like he was just always just so far off.
Yeah. And I know that team, you know, the coin team isn't, you know, they're not Penske, they're not Ganassi, but we have seen flashes of brilliance out of coin drivers in the past.
Well,
and even his teammate VK had some really good runs this year.
Exactly. When you look at what he was able to accomplish, and you know, I mean, we've talked about VK before, like consistently outperforming whatever machinery that he's in, but you know, it's hard to argue that Abel didn't have something, you know, that he could have done something with when you've got VK having the success that he did. So
yeah, because we had a pretty strong rookie class this year, and I felt that Abel would be right there in the conversation for rookie of the year, but from, you know, from St. Pete on, he just wasn't. And you know, I believe it was Lewis Foster who took the rookie of the year, and Lewis Foster in the news today.
Yep.
Signed a multi-year contract to stay put with Ray Hall. Ray Hall, a team that has struggled in the past, but they've also just picked up some new engineers and stuff. So we kind of have to see how that goes. And Graham Rahal kind of hinting that he's going to race 2 more years and be done. And I'm like, Graham, why wait 2 years?
Yeah.
Why wait 2 years? You're done.
Why make us all wait 2 years?
Oh, because Graham likes himself.
Oh, no shit. I mean, listen, man, like there are some master excuse makers in IndyCar, none better than Graham Rahal.
Yeah,
Like that.
You're right about that.
Absolutely nothing is ever that dude's fault. Always somebody else did something wrong and wronged Mr. Rahal. He is not one of my favorites.
So what would you say was the biggest surprise of the year?
So
because it wasn't Abel getting bumped.
It was not. Ironically, I am going to go with a different real answer, but I was going to give an honorable mention in this category to Graham Rahal, starting on the front row at the Indy Road Course and leading a lot of that race as well. That was a shocker to me, but like that was it for the season. I feel like for him.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, there are a couple of other guys that were disappointing. Lundgaard, I expected more out of.
Yeah.
McLaughlin, we already mentioned him. Yeah, so.
But I think biggest surprise, it would be hard to top. Schwartzman taking the pole.
Yes, yeah, that's obviously number one. I mean, it's like he didn't do much for the rest of the season.
No,
we don't even know if Prima's going to be back for sure.
We sure don't.
But by golly, if he doesn't have an Indy 500 pole on his resume,
and you can't take that away from him. And
it was legit too.
It was cool to see.
Yeah, it's not like he went out and then the other guys got rained on.
Yeah.
And track conditions changed. He went out and he was legitimately faster than the other 32 guys.
Yeah. And I mean, not for lack of trying. Like guys redid their runs and it's like, well, that was on Saturday, but I mean, it was legit and it was cool to see. I mean, like you said, didn't really do anything the rest of the season and obviously didn't amount to anything in the 500 either. But you can't take that away from the kid. I thought it was cool.
No. Also surprising / disappointing, just everyone at McLaren except Pato. Nolan Siegel, I'm like, okay. It's kind of funny because Nolan Siegel's dad has been adamant that they're not paying for the ride, but it came out in the Alex Palou court papers that they are buying that ride. So
call it what you want, spin it however you want.
Spin it how you want, It's not a crime to have a pay driver. You know what I mean?
No.
Ganassi's got what's his name? Simpson, yep. Yeah. Simpson's the pay driver. Yeah. Before Simpson, he's had Sebastian Saavedra. He had Charlie Kimball. Yep. Charlie Kimball, I believe, is the only Ganassi pay driver to win a race, though.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Kimball won Mid-Ohio 2013. Yep.
I like Charlie Kimball.
I like Charlie Kimball, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, not a crime, but I get, I get why his dad or, his management would try to fight against that sort of label. Right.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think Siegel was a disappointment too. I mean, not that I don't think anybody expected him to, come knocking down doors and winning races or anything right away. But, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he came in with a little bit more promise than what he delivered.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, Kevin Simpson had some refreshingly really good runs this year too.
He did. Yeah. So, especially at Nashville.
Speaking of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And I feel like he was one that really grew over the course of the season too. Right. Like,
I mean, when your teammates are Scott Dixon and Alex Palou,
you've
got to at least just through osmosis pick up some good tips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Palou was on Connor Daly's podcast at some point, and I was listening to it, and he was talking about how they, like, as a team, they all sort of share data and stuff, and like toward the end of the season, like Kiffin was really he was coming on and he was doing really well, and Palou made some comment about how he's like, he was sitting in an engineering meeting and he told Kiffin, like, that's good enough, that's fast enough, just like, you're good, don't make us look bad, like, you're good, just stop there.
Don't make us look bad.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah. So, but speaking of which, so, you know, if you look at the way Dixon and Palou drive, they drive just fast enough. Just fast enough to beat everybody else, but also to take care of the car.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, there's a guy who's known as one of the greatest race car drivers in the world, Mario Andretti, who couldn't figure that out because he would, you know, he would DNF as often as he would win because he was hard on the equipment. And son Michael as well. You know, I mean, Michael probably could have won a couple of Indy 500s if he was a little easier on the equipment, you know.
Yeah.
So,
it's incredible.
Or if he drove this day and age where the equipment is a heck of a lot more bulletproof.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, face it, used to be Indy 500. If you had half the guys left at the end of the race, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we've got if you don't crash, there's very few mechanicals.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, these things are, you know, built to be bulletproof. So
yeah, and I feel like more than, I mean, I don't know. I would have to really go back and look, but I feel like this year we saw a lot of like tire failures more so than mechanicals.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
So let's talk about the big news before the season was the TV contract moving from NBC to Fox, and then somewhere in the middle of the season, around about July, Fox parent corporation went ahead and purchased 1/3 of the assets of the IndyCar series.
Yeah.
So, which means we'll be seeing them on Fox for quite some time.
Yeah.
So, what in your mind was improved with Fox taking over, and what was maybe lacking?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, obviously this first season we were really lacking that streaming option. And I mean, I was a huge proponent of Peacock. I loved Peacock. I loved, you know, how cheap it was and being able to have every moment of the season just, you know, on your phone. I loved Peacock. And we were missing that with Fox. Now, evidently, they are coming out with something. How many thousands of dollars it's going to cost on top of every?
I don't know. I think it's called Fox Sports Plus or something. Or but I think it was slated to be like $80 a month or something stupid like that. But I got a note from, or a text from Verizon. I've got, you know, Verizon. They say, oh, you can add this Fox channel for half the price or whatever. So
okay. Well, that's
so,
good.
You know, maybe I'll try it, but, you know, maybe I'll wait till the season begins, but maybe the deal will be over. That's like, you know, do I make a move or not? Right.
Yeah. I know with Peacock, I always did like the Black Friday deal. So yeah, anyway, obviously, you know, that was a miss, but I think, I think like in July, right, that news that we got of Fox acquiring a 1/3 stake in Penske Entertainment, to me, like that signaled the commitment, right?
Yeah.
And the, you know, I think Fox believes in IndyCar, which is, that's cool. That's cool to see. And, you know, they are willing to do the work and, you know, put out the promos that they had, the Super Bowl commercial, stuff like that. I think that's great. I think that may have been something that we didn't see a ton of with NBC toward the end of that contract. So I'm excited about that sort of like that vote of confidence. I feel like that Fox is putting in IndyCar, and, you know, look, I mean, it paid off, right? Like, I was looking at some of the TV numbers from this year. Indy 500, 7.01 million viewers, largest audience in 17 years. Like, that's awesome. And, you know, obviously over the course of the season, that number helped to sort of drag up the average, but average 1.2 million viewers.
Yep. When we're struggling to get to, you know, 700,000.
Yeah.
Beforehand. I mean, you catch a million here and there, maybe Long Beach or whatnot, but most of the other races were just kind of, which again, you know, which I know I've said it 1,000 times and Richard said it 1,000 more. The basic problem with IndyCar is that the one race overshadows the entire series.
Yeah.
So hopefully Fox, by owning 1/3 of the entire series, will try to put a little more focus on the races week by, week after week. I would love to see, like a weekly talk show.
Yeah.
I mean, like they've got these NASCAR programs they air every day.
Yeah.
And they start talking about stupid stuff because they run out of crap to talk about because they're on every day. But if we just got a once a week, I'd be happy with a once a week IndyCar show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like
we've had those in the past. There was one Robin Miller, I think, and Dave Despain did one for a little while. And, nothing that's lasted. So.
Yeah. And even like a consistent, like, and I know that TV windows are difficult, but we kind of got the pre-show working this year, but like we didn't really have a consistent post-show. Like, getting to see the podiums, I think, and like getting to see the celebrations and the interviews with the drivers afterwards. Like I feel like that's important too. So yeah, I agree. I hope that that this is a signal of better things yet to come. For me, I think really like one of the biggest news stories, and maybe one of the if you want to call it a pivotal moment of the season, maybe actually happened before the season started, with the leadership change, right?
Doug Bowles taking over for Fry,
Jay Fry, in the IndyCar president role. For me, like, and listen, everybody knows I'm a big Doug Bowles fan. Always have been, always will be. But to me, I feel like that first of all, that's a massive change. Like that's a big change in your leadership structure just a couple of weeks before the season started.
Yeah.
Which was kind of crazy. But to me, like that was a signal, I think from Penske of like a willingness and openness to change and to try something different, which I think a lot of folks questioned whether Penske sort of had that in him. But also I think like an acknowledgement that a change was needed and that like a shift needed to happen from the top down. Right? Like this organization needed new leadership. It needed somebody new at the helm. And, maybe the Fox deal had something to do with that too, right? Like that this was a perfect season, a perfect opportunity to really say like, hey, we've got this new TV deal. I'm sure they were already in talks in terms of that big investment from Fox. Like if we're going to make a change, now's the time.
Yeah.
And I personally, like, I think it's awesome that they did it. I'm sure Doug Bowles would have preferred a little bit of time coming into this season to sort of get his ducks in a row. But I know that, I know that we're in November now of 2025. And I know that he is already deep in planning meetings and conversations and traveling and all sorts of other stuff to prepare for 2026. So, and look, I mean, I think we saw some of the fruits of that labor already this year, right? Like the big investment from Fox, the video game announcement that finally came that we've been waiting for however many years. Like, obviously the Mexico thing fell through, but I feel like there were things that were checked off of the list this year that have been promised for a long time.
Right.
So I feel like that leadership change to me is a signal that like we're going to try something different. I think that's great.
And back to Mexico, we need to get to Mexico. I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the way all the Formula One fans really just kind of rallied around Palou, who was down there just Pato. Yes. These guys with similar names.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Award. So Award, the Irish guy.
You're right. Man. We do need to get there, and I believe that we will. And I believe that there is, a concerted effort from the series to make that happen. This year or next year, it just didn't make sense whether the World Cup is really the reason or not. But I believe that we will get there.
I believe we will too. Yeah. I mean, we've been down there before, so.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, as journalists, right, we're not supposed to have favorite drivers, right?
Yeah.
But as human beings, that we do, right?
Yeah.
And if you watch this show for a while, you probably realize that I'm a Willpower fan, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably not a secret that Jessica is a big fan of Connor Daly. So let's talk about our two favorite drivers and their seasons, because they both kind of ended on a similar note with them losing their respective rides.
Yeah.
So let's start with Connor though, because I felt like he showed a lot of promise in some places, and he came in at the last minute on a injury replacement, helped Yukos win or get in the winner's circle there.
Yep.
Got a podium. He got the team's their first podium. And so he was rewarded with the full-time ride for 25. And
to
now,
be noted, got them into the leader's circle again.
Again, yes.
No podium, but some strong finishes. And yet here we find ourselves.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Obviously, definite like moments of promise throughout the season. I think I had hoped to see that that podium trend continue. Would have been really cool to see that happen again. And obviously like those short ovals, that's his bread and butter, right?
Oh yeah. And the Indy 500. I mean,
and the 500. Absolutely.
He always runs well as a 500.
Yeah. But I think there was well, first of all, if that dude didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. It like that cartoon anvil, isn't that what
Robin cartoon
Miller always
anvil.
called it, the cartoon anvil?
That's exactly how I felt when that whole polka dot deal.
Yeah.
He had it all lined up, and then the one jackass in there.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate the fact that somebody made their whole little Zoom meeting public.
Yeah.
So you can see what a jackass that guy was. Everyone else was
100%
ready to go. And so.
But like also what a shame, and just like I don't know, emblematic of how the business of IndyCar works these days. But like, how weird is it that he was having to rely on a sponsorship like that one person who knows nothing about IndyCar racing could torpedo on a Zoom meeting on a random Tuesday night, because
he owns
situation.
More Bitcoin than the rest of them. Now, mind you, I do not know how the whole Bitcoin thing works. I only know just the very basics, right? And, and I've seen the bubble burst for some people, and I've seen other people get rich.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to try it. I'm afraid I'm going to be the guy who loses everything, right?
Yeah.
And because I think some of these are not legit,
Yeah.
Some of them are just meant to be, people put their cash in, then the guys running the thing dump it real quick.
Yeah.
And make themselves wealthy, and everyone else is out for money. So.
Yeah, but stuff like that, and then just luck, racing incidents, and how Lady Luck, we know plays a role, unfortunately, and I think too, I think his team let him down at some points throughout the season. I think when you sort of look at like, if you look at Gateway, that came down to pit stops, and that came down to the teams turning a car around during a pit stop faster than the other teams. And who did it well? Award did it well. Kirkwood's team did it well. ECR did it well. JHR did not do it well. And it just always sort of seemed like in these moments where like there was an opportunity for an incredible result, if you really go back and look at the data, like the time was lost in these pit exchanges. And
sure, yeah, races are won and lost in the pits. How many times have we heard that? So
absolutely, yeah. So I think it was a combination of things, and I think unfortunately the team did let him down in a handful of situations. Were there times that he was also a dumbass on track? Absolutely. So yeah, but like you said, drug JHR up into the leader circle in 2024, did it again in 2025, and this is the thanks that he gets, and it's just, I don't know.
And by many accounts, they didn't even bother to call him and tell him.
By his own account, that's the biggest slap in the face, right? Is that and I mean, he had said that you sort of see how things are unfolding, right? And for the last couple of races of the season, he said that VK's management was hanging around the JHR trailers. So he was of course aware that those conversations were happening, but yeah, you would certainly hope that on the morning that that announcement is going to get made, that somebody would pick up the phone and say, hey, Connor, just want to let you know this is coming. And that phone call didn't happen. So that to me, that sucks. But is what it is. Hopefully we'll see him at least in the 500 next year.
So JHR is going to have
the Stingray circulation program.
Stingray again.
Back on track, and
VK, yeah. So
yeah, which again, look, objectively, like, was VK a better hire for them? Sure, absolutely. I don't understand where the money's coming from, because that Rinus VK is expecting a paycheck.
But money's coming from Stingray.
But the Stingray money was there this year, and Connor didn't get any of it. So how do they now have enough to turn around and pay Rinus VK whatever he's asking for? Because it ain't pennies.
Who can tell?
I don't know.
Who can tell? Yeah, it's like it's hard to tell who gets paid and who doesn't in racing.
Yeah.
So.
But I just go back to I think we played a clip at some point of I grabbed Connor after the race at Nashville where he finished in the top 5. Could have had a podium, could have won that race had it not been for circumstances there at the end. But his big takeaway was, like, he said something along the lines of, like, I feel like I'm racing better than I ever have, and I just want to keep doing it. Like, I just want an opportunity to keep doing what I love. And seems that opportunity isn't materializing for next year quite in the way that I'm sure he would have hoped. So it's a shame.
All right. So we'll talk about Will Power.
Yeah.
Who in 2024, he nearly led a challenge to keep Palou from winning. If he weren't for the spin in Iowa and the stupid goof with the seatbelts in Nashville, crazy. Will was actually leading the points at one point in time there late in the season. But that failed to work out in his favor. And again, coming into 2025, like you said, Penske just had a miserable season. But Power was performing the best out of the 3 all year long. Power finally won a race in Portland, amidst all the talk that it's time for him to go. He's washed up, and I didn't see any washed up. You know what I mean?
Agree.
He's been around a while. He's older, It's
so Scott Dixon.
So Scott Dixon, yeah. Scott Dixon was 3rd in the championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
So and who was I just? Somebody that's Kumasato he's like 47 or 48 now.
Yeah.
Still contending at Indy,
Yeah.
Still right up there near the front. So I think age is only a number.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the Al Unser Senior won the Indy 500 at 47.
Wow.
Right. Because you got these guys that win a couple early on and then they still have that in them. Because if you look at the 4-time winners, right? other than Mears, the other 3 of them, they had 3 early on and then 1 much later in their career.
Yeah.
I think Foyt had the 10 years between wins, and Al Unser was 17 years, and I think Castro Neves was from 2009 to 2021, so that many years. So you can't take Will out of the equation yet. So
yeah, and I think that was something I know I heard an interview with Will after everything had sort of settled and been announced, but it sounds like that's something that he's really out to prove as well, right?
Yeah.
That just because you're in your 40s, like there's not a light switch that gets turned off. Like, you can still be competitive and you can still fight for wins and fight for championships well into your 40s, as long as your heart is still in it. And, obviously, like, does it become physically harder for those guys? I'm sure. Do they have to work a little bit harder in the gym to keep up with the, 18-year-olds who are coming in? Sure. But
yeah, but look at some of these guys, man.
Yeah.
These guys are in shape. You know what I mean?
Scott Dixon could run laps around anybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tony Kanaan. I mean, that dude is ripped.
Yeah. So I think I'm excited for Will to have sort of a fresh start. I think it's great that it's happening at an established team like Andretti, because you would have hate to have seen him, sort of slide back to a lower level team. Yeah, exactly.
Something like that, or
so I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited for him to have a fresh start. I'm excited that it's at a team that can contend for wins and championships. And I think Kirkwood is going to be a great teammate for him.
Ericsson, Ericsson's had it tough since he joined Andretti. So I hope that Will doesn't have it tough either when he gets there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, like, sucks how it all went down for Will. And like, I don't know. I just have to wonder if like that Malukas deal was done,
that's what
months and months
people
in
say
advance.
that deal was done.
Yeah. And so they were just looking for a way to push him out.
Penske didn't even offer to farm Will out to sports car racing like he did with both Montoya and Castro Neves.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Will lucked into that Penske ride. I won't say lucked into it, but they needed somebody quickly to replace Castro Neves because he was having some legal problem with some tax evasion issues, which he was eventually exonerated of.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they brought Will Power in for the season opener, and Will had most recently before that won the final champ car race ever held in 2008 at Long Beach, but for 2009, Will had nothing going. And he impressed Penske enough that he put him in the car for a couple more races that year. And then Will goes ahead and he says, well, let me show you what I can do. Wins at Edmonton. So he's okay. Well, putting this guy in a car for a couple of races and he's beating my other guys. So the next thing you know, Will Power, full sponsorship from Verizon, and it's been that way since 2010. But now all of a sudden, after everything he's done for the team, he's the the single guy who's won the most IndyCar races for Team Penske, hands down. Next, I think is Castro Neves, and then I think Rick Mears is like a distant third. But Will's won more IndyCar races for Penske than anybody else, and to go out. I mean, Will's won a longer contract than 1 year.
Yeah.
I think they were willing to go with the 1 year, and Will's like, that's all I'm worth to you.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, I mean, Newgarden right now looks like the guy that is kind of questioning whether or not he wants to be around.
Yeah.
Will is still all in. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm hoping he goes to Andretti and they just
beat the pants off of it.
Kick some butt. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to see that. I love a revenge arc.
All right. So I mean, other interesting things this year. Carpenter team winning the race. That wasn't in the script.
No, it sure wasn't. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Well, the win at Milwaukee, but just a couple of races before that, Rasmussen got his first podium at Gateway. So,
right.
It seemed like that was brewing. And good for them. I also think, for me, like Kirkwood was a big. I know toward the end of the season, it didn't. The results didn't really bear it out, but that Kirkwood was sort of the one that looked like he was going to challenge Palou early in the season. Kirkwood was a real bright spot in the season for me. I was very impressed with him, and I think again with a teammate coming in like Will Power with so much experience and so much knowledge to share, that I'm sure he'll be itching to share. I'm excited for Kirkwood. I think.
Oh yeah,
there are good things to come for him.
We know he's outstanding on street courses,
street circus. Yeah,
but I mean, he won Gateway this year.
Yeah,
so he's got the oval monkey off his back.
Yep.
Just like Palou finally got the oval monkey off his back too. Watch out for that guy. He's probably going to win some races in the future.
You think?
Oh man. Wow, we are almost out of time. So what else notable from the season did you want to chat about?
I wanted to mention sort of, I feel like we talked about pit and tire strategy so much this season. I feel like, and remember at the beginning of the season, we had that run of caution-free races. I looked it up. It was 408 consecutive green flag laps at the beginning of the season. And that's unusual for IndyCar. And so I think when we sort of went on that caution-free run, like we started to see how like the tire strategy like really was king, and like that decided a lot of races. And I thought that was interesting.
There's a lot of guys that would come and put the reds on for like 2 laps and then get rid of them.
Yeah.
I think part of that is to do with because the drivers actually asked for a red tire that would denigrate more.
Yeah.
So they wanted a little more difference between the tires. So, be careful what you ask for.
For sure.
You get it. So, so I think the red tires or the alternates, because some races they were green, they just fell off a whole lot quicker. And you really, unless you're Scott Dixon,
right,
and you really can't stretch that window much farther than the other guy.
Right.
But if you're like, you drive like a madman, you drive like, say, Pato, you're going to burn them up in like 2 laps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But then you look at like an Iowa race 1, right, where Newgarden was totally in command of that race. And then like, it was those pit sequences again.
Yeah.
And I think actually I think Pato did the overcut. I think Pato stayed out a couple laps longer twice on 2 pit sequences and just shuffled Newgarden to the back, just timing and yellows and all of that. And I just feel like, I don't know, I don't remember a season recently where I feel like, timing of pit stops and timing of yellows and things like that really played such a big role as it did this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's always played a pretty significant role, but yeah, it was kind of right out in the forefront this year.
Yeah,
and especially with the tires. Yeah, I mean, like the fuel stuff. Oh God, we've always had the fuel races. I honest to God, I wish they would just give them 10 more liters of fuel and not have anybody try to worry about saving fuel.
Yeah.
And just do away with that element. But it is what it is. But it's better than when we used to have guys routinely run out of fuel.
Crazy.
All right, so it's way early to predict the 2026 IndyCar champion, but if you did, what would you think?
I mean, it's hard to bet against.
You think
Palou
Pallou's going to go 4 in a row?
God, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who has the answer to, and it's not just him. It's that whole organization. It's, their strategy is always right. Their pit stops are always great. Like it's just that whole organization. They're the total package. And it's just hard to bet against that. But, you also think about, like, he's still young. Like he's he's got a lot of seasons.
There's got to be a chink in the armor somewhere, right?
Yeah, but and he's got a lot of seasons ahead of him, and certainly we're not going to sit here at the end or beginning of every season for the next 20 and say, oh, well, Alex Palou's going to win again. There's got to be something. Something's got to happen. I don't know. Is 2026 the year it happens? I don't know.
I'd like to see Ward get a championship.
Yeah,
I think this guy is number one. He's got a great work ethic. He's putting the work into it. And number two, fans absolutely adore him.
Yeah.
And I think that's great for the series.
God, I want to see him win the 500 so bad.
Oh, God, he's come so close.
Oh, just heartbreakingly close. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, his day will come.
It will.
Yeah, you hope. I mean, it's like I used to think that about Michael Andretti. Well, he'll win this one of these days.
Yeah, I know. I've said that about Connor for years. And
yeah. All right. So, well, that's the end of the show. We're 9:01 p.m. Yep. So I hope you folks have enjoyed listening to our thoughts on the IndyCar season. So I know you've got your own thoughts as well. So, anyway, thanks to the ERA Racing Association. I forgot to thank the sponsors at the top of the show.
You sure did. You were just so excited to talk about willpower.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. That's all right.
NASCAR on Fox in San Diego 2026. PBR is coming to New England and Drafting the Circus will be there. Drafting the Circus. Sinista1 Productions will be there. Lee will be there with his cowboy hat on. Lee and Keith will be out there at the rodeo. So, but let's thank Facebook Live, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. I want to thank you, Jessica, for coming on when everyone else abandoned me. I appreciate you. I appreciate Sinista1 Productions and our fine producer, Mr. Keith Hayes. Most of all, I want to thank you folks that tuned in and watched tonight. Until next week, good night.
Thanks for watching Drafting the Circuits. Make sure to follow Drafting the Circuits on Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. Drafting the Circuits is a Sinista1 production.